whispers beneath the lantern sky. The town of Willow Ridge was known for its Lantern Festival, a tradition passed down through centuries. Every year, on the first night of spring, thousands of lanterns were released into the sky, carrying with them the dreams and wishes of the townsfolk. It was on such a night that Emma first met Daniel. Emma was a painter, her world filled with colors, brushes, and canvases. She often painted scenes of the town, the cobblestone streets, the bustling markets, and especially the willow trees by the river that swayed gently in the wind. But she often felt that her life lacked the kind of story her paintings told. She dreamed of love but had never truly known it. Daniel, on the other hand, was a traveler. He had wandered through countless cities, crossing seas and mountains, but never stayed in one place long enough to call it home. His heart carried stories, laughter, and scars of the road. Yet, beneath his adventurous spirit was a loneliness he rarely admitted, even to himself. That evening, Emma was sitting by the riverside, sketching lanterns as they floated upward like golden stars. Her eyes followed one that got caught in the branches of a willow tree. She stood up, trying to reach it, when a tall stranger approached. Without a word, Daniel climbed the tree and gently freed the lantern, handing it back to her with a warm smile. "Your wish was almost trapped," he said lightly. Emma laughed, brushing her hair from her face. "And what if it was meant to stay?" "Then perhaps," Daniel replied, "fate wanted me to deliver it to you." From that moment, their lives intertwined. Daniel stayed longer than he intended in Willow Ridge, enchanted not just by the lanterns, but by the woman who saw beauty in every detail. Emma painted him often, sometimes without his knowing, capturing his thoughtful eyes, the way his laughter lit up the room, and the quiet strength in his posture. He, in return, told her stories of his travels, describing deserts that stretched like golden oceans, mountains crowned with snow, and seas that sang lullabies under the moonlight. Days turned into weeks. Their walks by the river grew longer, their conversations deeper. Emma found herself imagining what life would be if Daniel never left. Daniel, who had always been restless, suddenly felt at peace, like maybe, for the first time, he had found where he truly belonged. But the traveler's heart is not so easily tamed. One evening, as they sat beneath the willow tree, Daniel confessed softly, "Emma, I'm afraid of staying. I've never stayed anywhere. The road always calls me back." Emma's chest tightened, but she forced a gentle smile. "And I'm afraid of losing someone I've only just found." Silence hung between them, filled with the sound of lanterns drifting upward. Daniel reached for her hand. "What if I promised to always return, no matter where I go? Would that be enough?" Tears welled in her eyes, but she nodded. "Then I'll wait. As long as it takes." And so, Daniel left, carrying with him not just his stories, but Emma's heart. She continued to paint, each canvas filled with longing, hope, and love. She painted lanterns, always reaching for the sky, just like her wish for him to return. Seasons passed. Letters arrived, each telling tales of new places, but always ending with the same words, "I'll come back to you." Emma waited by the river every spring, watching lanterns rise, whispering her wish to the night sky. Then, one lantern festival, 3 years after he first left, Emma stood beneath the willow tree once again. As lanterns lit up the sky, she felt a presence beside her. Turning, she saw Daniel, worn by the road but with the same warmth in his eyes. He carried no luggage this time. Only a small box in his hand. "I realized," he said, voice trembling, "that no matter where I go, none of it means anything without you. I don't want to wander anymore, Emma. I want to stay. If you'll have me." He opened the box, revealing a simple silver ring, glinting softly in the lantern light. Tears streamed down Emma's cheeks as she whispered, "I wished for this every year." And beneath the lantern sky, with thousands of wishes soaring above them, Emma and Daniel sealed theirs with a kiss, a promise that this time, he would never leave. Beneath the moonlit bridge. The city of Florence had always been a place of poetry, art, and whispers of eternal love. For Isabella, it was simply home, though lately, it felt like a place of unanswered questions. Every evening after finishing her shift at the small family-owned bookstore, she would walk toward the Ponte Vecchio, the old bridge overlooking the Arno River. She loved to stand there as the sun sank low, its golden rays shimmering across the rippling water, as though time itself paused just for her. On one such evening, as she leaned against the stone railing with a book tucked under her arm, she noticed a stranger sketching nearby. His dark hair fell carelessly across his forehead, his hands moving with ease over a worn notebook. Every few moments, he glanced up at the bridge, the river, or the sky, capturing fleeting beauty with a kind of urgency that made Isabella curious. "Are you an artist?" she asked, surprising herself with the boldness of her own voice. He looked up, startled at first, then smiled. "Trying to be," he admitted. His accent wasn't Italian, softer, with hints of the north. "I'm Daniel. From Scotland. I came here to search for something." "Search for what?" Isabella asked, tilting her head. He hesitated, eyes returning to the horizon. "Maybe inspiration. Maybe myself. Or maybe someone who believes in love as much as I do." The words caught her off guard, sending an unexpected warmth through her chest. She laughed nervously, brushing back a strand of hair. "That sounds like a lot to look for on one bridge." Over the following weeks, Isabella found herself returning to the same spot every evening. Sometimes Daniel was already there, sketching furiously, other times he arrived late, breathless, as though afraid she might vanish before he saw her. They spoke of books, art, and their dreams. Daniel confessed that he once wanted to be a painter but had lost faith in himself. Isabella admitted she feared her life was becoming too ordinary, too safe. "You don't seem ordinary to me," Daniel told her one night, his gaze steady. "You notice things. People who notice beauty are never ordinary." As the days melted into nights, their bond deepened. A touch of his hand on hers, an exchange of shy smiles, and eventually, a moment beneath the lamplight of the bridge where the world seemed to blur and only his voice, his warmth, remained. But Florence was only temporary for Daniel. His return ticket to Scotland was already purchased. One evening, as rain fell softly around them, he told her the truth. "I leave in 2 weeks." Isabella felt her heart tighten. She wanted to be brave, to tell him not to go, but all she managed was a whispered, "I see." The following days became heavy with unspoken words. They still met, still shared laughter, but each moment was tinged with the ache of knowing time was running out. Finally, on his last night, they walked once more to the bridge. The city was quiet, the moon casting silver across the river. "I don't want this to be the end," Daniel said, his voice raw. "But I can't ask you to leave everything you know. I can't be selfish." Isabella felt tears slip down her cheeks. She reached out, touching his face gently. "Love isn't selfish, Daniel. Sometimes it's just too much for the time we're given." They kissed, slow, trembling, desperate, as if that single moment could hold eternity. And then, with one last look, he walked away, leaving her standing beneath the moonlit bridge. Months passed. Isabella tried to lose herself in books, in work, in the rhythm of Florence, but her heart carried his memory like an unfinished story. One spring afternoon, as cherry blossoms drifted across the square, she returned to the bridge, alone. Or so she thought. Leaning against the railing, sketchbook in hand, stood Daniel. His hair was longer, his coat worn from travel, but his eyes were the same. "I came back," he said simply, his voice breaking. "Because I realized I found what I was searching for. It wasn't inspiration. It wasn't myself. It was you." Isabella's breath caught as tears filled her eyes. This time, there was no hesitation. She ran to him, and when his arms closed around her, she knew the bridge had kept its promise, it had brought them together once more. And beneath the glow of Florence's evening sky, their love truly began.